One of the things that's often said about technological advancements is that when technology is advancing really rapidly, you can't see it until later. When you're in the middle of it, it can be hard to see even rapid technological change because you are in the midst of it every single day. We are in the middle of an authoritarian explosion right now. And if you've been in the middle of the Trump presidency day to day, as I have, and as many of you have for the last, I don't know, 11, 1200 days roughly of Donald Trump's presidency, you likely don't realize how quickly things have gotten authoritarian and dictatorial. We might have some general sense of it, but what has happened in just the last 2 weeks, really 12 days, is shocking. And if someone had told you the day Donald Trump was inaugurated, in a 12-day period in 2020, here's the list of authoritarian things this man is going to do, many of us, myself included, likely would have said there's no way it won't happen. But we've slowly been desensitized. It's slowly been normalized, and it has happened. In the time since Donald Trump's acquittal, as Reddit user Rustic Gorilla astutely pointed out, Donald Trump has vowed revenge on his enemies list after being acquitted in a completely sham impeachment. Since the acquittal, the president said that these are people who will suffer consequences for their role in impeachment. That includes Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler and other Democrats. It even includes Republican Mitt Romney for his one guilty vote on Article 1 of impeachment. Remember, impeachment is the constitutionally outlined duty of the House. A reporter asked Trump how he's going to get revenge on those responsible. He responded, "You'll see. This is dictatorial." Trump then fired impeachment witnesses who showed up and simply told the truth under oath as they remember it. Trump fired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. Trump fired Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland. They did nothing wrong. Trump simply doesn't like what they said. When you tell the truth to investigators under oath and Trump doesn't like it, you lose your job. This is an authoritarian nightmare. Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, rightly defended Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, and Donald Trump attacked Kelly, tweeting, "When I terminated John Kelly, which I couldn't do fast enough, he knew full well that he was way over his head. Being chief of staff just wasn't for him. He came in with a bang, went out with a whimper, but like so many exes, he misses the action and just can't keep his mouth shut," which he actually has a military and legal obligation to do. His incredible wife, Karen, who I have a lot of respect for, once pulled me aside and said strongly that John respects you greatly. When we are no longer here, he will only speak well of you. Wrong. Trump then, as we've already discussed, got involved in the sentencing of his associate, Roger Stone, interfering in the trial, tweeting, quote, "This is a horrible and very unfair situation. The real crimes were on the other side. As nothing happens to them, cannot allow this miscarriage of justice." Again, I know I said this, I'm rehashing it. Trump is using the fact that people not charged with crimes that he happens not to like haven't gotten prison time, and therefore Stone shouldn't get 7 to 9 years. Dictators do this. Dictators attack a justice system that's working independently and not considering the subject's relationship to the president. Then, when 4 prosecutors quit because of Trump's own interference, Trump attacks them to Geraldo Rivera, saying over the weekend, quote, "I don't think they quit for moral reasons. I think they got caught in the act by me." What am I going to do? Let a man go to jail for 9 years when murderers aren't going to jail? You have some of the most serious, horrible rapists and everything else. They don't go to jail for 9 years. Once again, Trump not using any factual basis to argue that 7 to 9 years is actually out of line with federal sentencing guidelines. But it's not just the prosecutors that Trump attacks. Then Trump attacks the judge in the case, Amy Berman Jackson, saying, quote, "Is this the judge that put Paul Manafort in solitary confinement? Something that not even mobster Al Capone had to endure? How did she treat crooked Hillary Clinton?" Just asking. Of course, remember, Hillary Clinton not charged with any crimes. And of course, as I've already told you, based on the point system that federal sentencing guidelines employ, 7 to 9 years was the correct range for Roger Stone. And then lastly, he's attacked the prosecutors. He's attacked the judge. Trump then attacks one of the jurors in the Roger Stone trial, saying, quote, "Now it looks like the 4-person in the jury in the Roger Stone case had significant bias. Add that to everything else, and this is not looking good for the, quote, Justice Department." Then he said, I didn't intervene here, but I could have if I wanted to. Quote, the president has never asked me to do anything in a criminal case, AG Barr. This doesn't mean that I do not have, as president, the legal right to do so. I do, but I have so far chosen not to. So to sum up the authoritarian nightmare of the Roger Stone situation, you have Trump attacking the sentence, attacking the prosecutors, attacking the judge, attacking a juror, and saying he can intervene in any case if he so pleases, and then getting the Justice Department to change their sentencing recommendation. There's not really any Justice Department independence there. Trump then on Twitter accuses the former director of the FBI, Robert Mueller, of lying to Congress. That's a crime, if true. Trump says, congratulations to Attorney General Bill Barr for taking charge of a case that was totally out of control and perhaps should not have even been brought. Evidence now clearly shows that the Mueller scam was improperly brought and tainted. Even Bob Mueller lied to Congress. That's an allegation that the former FBI director has committed a crime, casually, by the president on Twitter. This is what goes on in countries that most of us do not consider ourselves to be equivalent to in terms of the functioning of our systems, but we are seeing it right here. This would be enough for 2 terms, never mind 12 days. And in the same 12-day period, I won't go into it in detail, Trump attacked FBI Director Christopher Wray, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, withdrew the nomination of Jesse Liu, who oversaw the Roger Stone case and McCabe's case as head of the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, and on and on and on. So when you put together just the last 12 days, it's an authoritarian nightmare, the likes of which we have not seen from a president in the United States for a long time. I would argue likely ever, unless someone can give me an example of where we've seen this level of authoritarianism, not in a 4-year period, in a 12-day period by a president. This is nothing compared to what we will see in a potential Trump second term. This was 12 days. Forget about, is it the 12 days of Christmas, that song, or 12 nights of Christmas? I'm Jewish. There's 12 nights somewhere. I don't know. This is the 12 days of authoritarianism under Donald Trump. And you could pick any 12 days and do something similar, except he's been madly and wildly emboldened by the impeachment acquittal, which was predictable. We said this would happen. It will get significantly worse if Trump is given a second term. Let me know what you think about these last 12 days of authoritarianism. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. Follow me and send me your thoughts there. Do you feel like you just don't have enough time to become as intellectually well-rounded as you would like to be, that there are just not enough hours in your week for you to read all of the books that you want to read? One of our sponsors is called Blinkist, and it's an app that lets you consume an entire nonfiction book in 15 minutes. It's only about $8 a month, but you can try it for free for a week and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. What Blinkist does is take thousands of popular nonfiction books and condense them into either text or audio that you can read or listen to in just 15 minutes. And what you get is all of the most important ideas and information from the book. Imagine being able to listen to an entire nonfiction book in the amount of time it takes you to drive or walk home from work. I've just finished listening to Upheaval by Jared Diamond. Jared Diamond, a tremendous author whose work I've previously recommended. Excellent book looking at some of modern history's biggest national crises to figure out how different countries ended up in such precarious situations. Blinkist has totally transformed how I consume information. I love it. Of course, I read a book in its entirety when I can, but there are simply just so many books that I want to read and would not have the time for if it weren't for Blinkist. They have books on politics, economics, philosophy, science, you name it. You can try it out yourself, totally free for a week, and get 25% off if you decide to subscribe just by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video. Like the rest of us, I bet you're going into 2020 thinking about what you didn't get around to in 2019 and your goals for the new year. If you want to work towards being your best self in 2020, understand more about the world around you, and make sure that your time is well spent, then Blinkist is for you.